guys, it's Angela again. Thank you for joining me. Listen, I wanted to catch us up to follow up with our story with Carisa. If you haven't watched the first two videos, I'll be sure to link them here. Please go back to those two videos so you'll get more information as to why this story is so important and why her journey is such an inspiration to all of us. We have so much more to share, and I'm going to go right into it. You'll meet us in the conversation. Be sure to link down below any questions or comments that you have, and enjoy. Be blessed. Thank you so much for joining us again. We are back with Carisa.
Hello, hello.
Yay. And we're going to follow up on her story. If you did not catch up with us, we have a couple videos before this one. So just check those out. But we're going to follow up. I'm going to let her have the floor.
Thank you for having me again. And thank you guys for joining us again. And I was asked to mention something. Subscribe.
Subscribe.
If you're listening, subscribe.
Perfect.
Yeah. So I wanted to say, pick back up and just say thank you guys for the patience in listening and joining in with the story, the journey, and me telling my story, because that's what it is. It's my story, my journey, and in time it's come. It has not been something that I've just like been dying to tell and dying to talk about.
Right.
And it's not that I don't like talking about the goodness of God, but it's really been a life-changing experience. Right. And when you experience that, you look at how it hits all aspects of your life, and it's very real. I think we picked up on going home from the hospital, and just the realization of everything you're faced with. It's like I'm back in my car that I cannot drive, and I'm going home from the hospital, and I'm in my house, and I need help to get up to my bedroom.
Right.
I can't just walk upstairs and get to my bedroom. So the realization of all of that setting in, it's something that you have to take on. And I'm just going to back up just a little bit. Yeah. So let me give you a little history. I'll go back a little bit. Just to what was happening when all of this happened. I had just been a part of a workforce reduction, been laid off. So I'm looking at that change in my life, gearing up, getting ready to interview. Matter of fact, was interviewing.
Right.
And things were happening so fast, and like, here I am at an interview and can't walk. I mean, literally about to go inside and trip over my own feet, fall in the parking lot. I mean, it was that kind of craziness, but you know, I'm trudging forward. I gotta get me another job. I gotta keep things moving. And even though I had gone and had the MRI done and had been told that this is what was happening, I was still like moving forward.
Right.
So I had to be. But here I am now, I'm back at home, and I'm realizing I am not in a position to work. And it's like, I can't do this. But life is still going on. There's a mortgage that has to be paid, a car note that has to be paid.
They don't just...
they don't go away, let me tell you that. So all of these things were very real, and they were happening, and it's like, you know, what do you do? And very fortunate, I had a friend of mine that said to me, you may not be able to work after this. You don't know what's going to happen.
Right.
And that's why it's so good to be so well connected. Because in talking to Jackie and her having been dealing and advocating for people, even having had gone through the same type of surgery somewhat, you know, and Andre was like, you don't know what's going to happen, so fill out the paperwork.
Right.
Even if you're not disabled, fill out the paperwork anyway.
Right.
Because you'll be in a better frame of mind to do it right now.
Than to wait.
To wait. So I've done all of these things, but of course with that, as anyone knows, as I applied for any type of disability, that does not happen overnight. What is that? Poof? That is not
None of that.
None of that. Okay. None of that. So it's a lot to take in. That's gave you that background to know that on top of I gotta figure out how to walk, I gotta figure out how to get to my bed if I want to sleep in my bed at night, and all of these. I also don't have a job, and I gotta figure out what do I do next. So you gotta exist. But of course, the priority, because if this has done nothing else for me, it has given me perspective. And I always thought I had perspective anyway. But when you gotta take another shift and look at perspective, it's very different. So going through and making assessments, my health was so different and it was so unpredictable that I had to focus on getting better. I had to focus on trying to live. And in that, it really makes you take an accounting of who's in your life, what's in your life, what you can do, you can't do, what you even want to deal with.
I know that's right.
Speak that truth, okay? What you don't want to do, that's why you don't want to do it. And so you come to a point where you say, okay, I'm not even dealing with that. That's too much stress, and I'm not going to do it. I'm just not going to do it. Because you realize you don't need that in your life. You don't need the things that are pulling away from your focus on getting better. Your focus on how do I take this next step in how I move forward to what. I mean, I still felt like I was a project manager, as Andrea pointed out many times, because I had so many medications that I was taking, and the timing on everything, and things you had to eat before you could do this, or things you couldn't eat before you took this one, and so you had to manage that. And it's like, how do you focus on all of that and keep it? And so my only way was to write it down. And I had to have my schedule. Not only when it was time to take it, but also that I had taken it. Because it was like, you know, if you didn't, it was so new for me and the ground that I was treading on, I couldn't afford to miss something.
You never took medication before.
Yeah.
You went this whole time without ever having to do anything.
The most regular thing I've taken is an allergy pill. Okay, no, I wasn't regular with them vitamins. I took my allergy medication like clockwork. Exactly. I did that. I was never on any type of regulatory medication. And then here I am flooded with, I was taking probably about 26 to 30 pills a day. Yes, 20. I mean, yeah, I think I counted them. I mean, for my morning dose, I was taking about 13. And that was just that was my cocktail for breakfast, you know. Cheers. Cheers. So it was a different world. And you do take perspective. And I just thank God, because it's like you're praying every step of the way. And He is truly helping me. I mean, this ain't me doing this. And this ain't me that's thinking of everything. I'm praying and asking Him. And, you know, yes, He gives us the ability to do things that we need to do. But it's Him. I can't take a step without giving Him the glory in how He, you know, just gave me what I need to do. This is what you need to do. This is how you're going to get through this. And this is how you're going to do it. And more importantly, like things I would listen to that was like yap. It's like I had no time for it. I had no patience for it. And when I saw it coming, I would say, look, I can't do this. I got to focus on being well. I got to focus on my health and what I need to do, because this is a job for me. This is hard because nothing is the same. I was in the same space. I was in the same place. But I couldn't use it the same. No, absolutely not. It was very different for me, and it took a lot to come to grips with everything and for where I was. And for 6 weeks being very dependent on, and I was getting the occupational therapy, so I had someone coming around, but when I got what they were giving me, and then I had someone help, I said, I got to put this on hold, because when my family leaves, I'm going to need that then. And, you know, they gave me lots of tips. Put things on top of the counter so you can get to it, because you won't be able to bend down and do stuff. You're going to need a reacher. You're going to, matter of fact, put things at a level that you can reach them so that you don't get the frustration
Exactly.
From not being able to get this pot, or I really want that, but I can't get it.
Right.
And then it was nothing for something to be on the floor. And I don't know that that really helped me because I can see something on the floor now and it doesn't bother me.
Right.
Because I've been through a phase where I can't get it. But if I can't anyway. So yeah, I can see Lisa and Mary really having getting a kick out of that. But yeah, it was a very different world. But I am grateful that, God gave me the ability to see my way through it and to see a way around it. And even, the financial side of it is a whole nother world.
Oh, yeah.
For what you have to go through. Because
and paying for prescriptions, going to doctor's appointments, all
well,
that
like
stuff.
anything, the best thing in the world is while I was in the hospital, I met my out-of-pocket max with the insurance company. But so that meant the last half of the year was on them.
Right.
So it was like, all of these specialists. I mean, I was seeing 5 specialists, and if anything changed, anything was to happen, all 5 had to agree that this was the route to take. So I had to see them and I had to coordinate that type of coordination between them to make sure I couldn't rely on, we're going to send them the note. I placed phone calls to say, and make sure you got the notes because I saw this person, I saw that person, and then some of them had to be combined. This is a conversation that has to take place here. And so it was a lot. And, he does prepare you, I had that in the back of my head, I guess, that I knew how to do this, but to bringing it together, like I would be missing numbers. Order was something that I missed. Like if you told me to say something or do something on 3, I promise you I did it on 2. I couldn't answer. I couldn't tell you why. I heard you plain as day, but I couldn't control how my head was processing.
Right. It processed it totally
I don't think
differently.
in the way that it did. I never dealt with anything from dyslexia standpoint, but nothing was in order. It just didn't process in the way. And with my vision being 0 here and perfect here, I couldn't step up on the sidewalk.
I remember
because I couldn't catch it. It's just interesting things like that. And so my mom wanted to ride with me. Didn't trust me to drive. And guess what? I didn't trust myself. So they were smart not to. But God blessed me. And I say that and I laugh about it. But let me tell you something. The absolute best way to get through it is to be able to laugh about it. You have to find your good humor in where you are and the path that you're in. Because if you don't, you will be so miserable that not only will no one want to be around you, you won't even want to be around yourself. You won't like yourself. You won't be able to deal with the day-to-day with things. You have to find your humor in it. And how people say, gosh, you're so silly, I can't believe you're making a joke out of that. Well, guess what? If I don't, then my other option is to be crying about it.
Right. And
so
that's just not beneficial.
That's not beneficial at all. So you have to find your humor in it and be able to say, okay, this is how I'm going to deal with that. Because if you don't, it'll be a lot harder on you than it needs to be.
I know that's right.
A lot harder on you than it needs to be.
Well, we're going to thank Carisa for sharing such a wonderful portion of her story. And like I said, just keep watching because she's going to continue to share and continue to encourage you. Again, join the conversation. Always Christ, no cliches.